Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sudsy, and today I'm being joined by Richard, and we're going to make our Six Nations predictions. We're going to go through them from sixth through to first. Going to try to predict who wins, who's going to come last, if any Grand Slams are going to be happening, and yeah, Richard, if you want to say hello.
Hi everyone, my name's Richard. I'm delighted to be joining the channel for the first time, and yeah, interesting to see how this goes.
Sweet, sweet. Okay, so I suppose we will start from the bottom. So, do you want to go first or will I?
You take it away. I'll join
All
in.
right. I'm going to go with Wales in sixth place. The only game I can see them winning is possibly the England game. They're playing England at home, so the Welsh are always up for a good fight at home, especially against the English. I can't see them beating France or Ireland. Italy, in a game they're probably targeting, but I just think Italy are performing too well nowadays. Like their performance against New Zealand in the autumn was particularly good. They beat Scotland last year in the Six Nations. They drew against France, a French team. Now the French team weren't at their best. They're still a bit of a hangover from the World Cup, but still, draw against France was pretty impressive. They probably should have beaten Wales last year as well, but they didn't, and they'll be looking to rectify that this Six Nations. So yeah, I don't think they're going to win a game. I think they will get better as they go through the games. But yeah, I think all the teams they're going to be playing against, it's going to be a bit too tall of an order for the young enough Welsh team. I know they brought back some experience, but I think even they lost Beard or Baird or whatever his name is, their main line-out operator, and something
Yeah,
like their line-outs have dropped by like 20 odd percent success rate since he's been gone. So I just unfortunately don't see Wales winning a game. What about you, Richard? What are you thinking?
yeah. Wales is the bottom of my predictions as well. I think, like, I would beg to differ that I don't think England will be the game that they might win. I think England have, I don't know, England this year, just the potential of that squad is probably better than I've seen in the last couple of years. I don't know if they're going to connect with Borthwick, but we'll get to England in a little bit. But just on Wales, I think there's some bad selections from Gatland. I think,
Fair,
uh,
fair.
what's your name? His name Max Lewin. Uh, he's the top try scorer in the Premiership at the moment,
Yeah, and he's
and
been left out of the squad,
he's been
hasn't
left
he?
out of the squad. Yeah, Cameron Winnett, one of the top assisters, he's been left out of the squad.
Is it? Well, how old are they? Is it that whole thing like Warren's just trying to get a very young team together? But I don't think they're
Max is
pushing too
26.
old.
Max is
Yeah,
26. He's a
very young.
centre.
Like he'll be here for the next two World Cups cycles, let alone the one going down in Australia in 27. So he's definitely a weird selection to have
I,
left out,
I
but maybe
think
just
with
doesn't
how,
play the right way. Maybe there's a bit of issue between himself and Gatland.
I think you just need to hit the nail on the head. Gatland, that's the issue. And I know, look, the Welsh fans love him. He offered to resign, and they said no, we want to keep you.
Hmm.
But I don't know. He like 11 losses in a row with no look at getting better. Like France are gonna absolutely knock the crap out of them, and
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
see.
it's not going to be a
I
pretty first
think
game.
maybe if Italy aren't at the races, but I see it that Italy are going to be looking at this Welsh team being like, we're going to knock shades of shit out of them, and that's the one they know they can definitely win if they
Yeah,
play their best rugby. So I feel Wales, I don't know how they get out of the hole. I think Gatland could potentially lose a lot of reputation as a coach by the end of this rugby calendar year, depending on how Wales get on.
fair. Do you
Um,
reckon if he doesn't win a game, he's gone?
I reckon if he doesn't win a game and it's 16 game losing streak, like something has to be done, you know?
Yeah, yeah, fair, fair. I suppose that would be then their new worst record then, wasn't it? Because they tied it at the end of last year, losing 11 in a row. So
For every
if they
game
don't
they
beat,
lose, they're adding more to their record. Like,
true, true, true. I suppose that is the way it does work. Like, who do they have up first? Is it France?
France
Or
this Friday
yeah,
at 8:15. So
Yeah. So it's yeah, France versus Wales. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you anyway. I don't think it's going to be a pretty result, but look, if anyone can come out and kind of surprise everyone, it would be the Welsh.
It's true. That
That
is true.
surprise win, they won the whole thing in 2021,
Yeah,
which wasn't that long ago. Like it was 4 years ago now, coming
yeah,
up to
but
this one. But
the
I'd
players that
expect
they're
a bit
missing
of
out of
a
that one, like they're missing like Dan Bigger, Alan Jones, like
mm,
those two names alone are
true,
up there in goal
true.
conversations in Welsh rugby. So, like,
Yeah, fair. It's an interesting selection anyway. Interesting team. I wonder if it's just gonna be more Gatland Bowl kind of style of rugby still, or if he's gonna try bring something different. So I suppose the big question is, do you think they'll win a game?
no, I'm just looking at
No.
their calendars there. You were saying maybe England in the Principality, like
Hmm.
that's the last weekend of the tournament.
Yeah,
They're playing Italy in the second week. Italy are going to be in Italy. I think Italy are going to be going for that match. They're going to be coming off a heavy week against France. That's not going to be an easy game for Wales. I know the Scotland Italy game isn't going to be an easy one for Italy either.
from the Italian perspective, yeah.
And the Welsh do have an extra day to recover, but I just think, and then Ireland in the Principality, like, oh, I think
Yeah,
Wales are in a difficult position, and Welsh rugby as a
yeah.
whole. I think Cardiff are doing quite well in the URC. They're showing maybe a little bit of revival. They're sixth. They've won five
Yeah.
games. They've lost four and one draw. Like that's pretty good. Scarlets are the same, 5-1-4. They're ahead of Munster. They're ahead of Ulster and Connacht. Um,
True, true.
the Ospreys are 4-5, so it's much better than what they were showing last year. Um, and the Dragons have won a game as well, but like something, I feel something needs to change. You can't be leaving fellas like Max Lewin out. So
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Right, I think we've ragged on about Wales for long enough.
we kicked them down into the
Apologies,
dirt.
any
Yeah.
Welsh listeners, but you'll prove us all wrong and win a Grand Slam this year. Anyway, on to fifth. Who you predicting for fifth?
I'm going with Italy. Italy.
Fair.
I
Yeah,
just,
yeah, yeah.
and it's nothing on Italy. It's on the other four teams. I think Scotland are living in one of their best generations of rugby at the moment.
Hmm.
England, England now. I don't know. I feel like when I put England where I think they're going to be, I could be regretting it. I, it's just going to depend on whether these Borthwick selects these young players. I know I keep on coming with England. Got to go back to
Yeah,
Italy. Got to go back to Italy.
get ahead of yourself there. A bit of
Yeah,
a
keep on.
spoiler for the list
Yeah,
coming on.
just a little uh, twinkle. Um, I would hope for Italy. Like outside of Ireland, Italy would be the team I would support the most. Um,
Hmm.
I think Benetton, like they they beat La Rochelle. Like there's
Yeah,
not,
they're having a great season, Benetton. Like, there's no denying that.
but then they're having a great season. But then on other terms, they're not. They're ninth in the URC. You know, they're ninth in the URC with 4 wins, 6 losses.
Yeah,
But then they've
true,
the
true.
same amount of bonus points as Leinster. Like obviously that could come from losing bonus points.
Yeah. Most
But
likely,
then
a lot of them came from the
they
losing
came
ones, but
third in the pool with Leinster, La Rochelle, Clermont, Bath, and Bristol. And like Bath and Bristol are high up there in the Premiership table.
in
So
the Premiership, yeah, they are indeed.
like
Yeah,
it
fair
goes back
enough.
and forth. I
It's on
think.
not the greatest URC season, but I don't know. I'd definitely be. I mean, but like by not the greatest season, they're one position away from making it to the quarterfinals. Like all they have to
Oh
do
yeah,
is finish eighth.
no, I
You
know.
know,
Yeah, and I think
so
one of the things that I think will add to this Italian squad, it's not just Benetton. Benetton have a massive amount of their players in the Italian team. Yeah, their
yeah,
centre duo Brex and like Melangelo, huge. And like they don't really have that. We were talking about that before. They don't really have that reserves at that position. But Zebra, Zebra have won 2 games. They hadn't won 2 games. They hadn't won a game all last season. So there is that kind of support coming in. Angie Caputo is just like having a dream of a season with Toulouse and
yeah,
like just learning
yeah.
from that
And to be fair,
system
when you're playing in Toulouse, you're only going to be getting better as well.
and hopefully bringing some of that information to the Italian squad. Um, now, like I don't know if he'll be able to bring how to take out Devon or how to beat him, but like it'll be structure and plays that he'll be able to bring to the Italian team to maybe bring a bit more creativity, because the Italians have such creativity in their play style. It's just making sure that the right team shows up on the day and the right Lamaro. To be honest, if he's not engaging with the
All
referee,
right, Lamar.
and he's not like, you looked at the games in the World Cup against France and New Zealand, and they just lost their heads, and
Yeah,
they just
fair, fair, fair.
couldn't.
Yeah, no, I'd be agreeing with you anyway. Italy in fifth for me. I think they'll beat Wales.
Yeah,
But I don't really see them beating anyone else. Could catch the Scots on a bounce the first weekend, but I think Scotland are too good. Think Ireland will be playing them in round five, so if Ireland are on for a grand slam at that point, there's no chance the Italians will stop them. If I don't know if it's kind of championship over, maybe they can catch Ireland feeling a bit sorry for themselves. But then again, it'll probably an Ireland team doesn't really get to feel sorry for itself. It'll go out there and try and make a statement of the last game. I don't think they'll beat England, and I don't think they'll beat France. I think France are too good at the moment.
England is in
And I think
Twickenham as well,
England,
and I that's just
yeah,
not it's not happening.
maybe if they had England away, maybe sorry, maybe they have England at home. They could have had a chance, but yeah, I don't see it happening this year. So yeah, I'd be agreeing with you anyway about what you said. Italy for fifth. Yeah, okay, moving on. What are you thinking for fourth? Or will I go first on this one?
You go first. I have my
Okay,
decision,
so
but
you haven't made
no, okay, because of that, I'll say who I think it is, and I'll let you say your bit, and then
Yeah,
we'll go
yeah,
that
go
way.
for it.
I'm thinking Scotland.
Oof.
Yeah,
Oof,
I
oof,
know. I'm
oof.
sorry to
I'm
the Scottish
going
listeners.
with
That's
yeah.
I know.
God almighty, that's a criminal thing to say. I'm gonna go with England in fourth. And I imagine you're going to go with England in third, and I'm going to go with Scotland in third. But I don't want to predict your predictions. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
don't be doing
think
that.
England's yeah. I think England is it's a young team, averaging 25 ish. I think is what they've gone and selected. Itoje captain, which is great to see. Good leader. He's definitely got a good head on him, and he's very good at breaking the rules in the correct way, which all the best players are. I think they'll have a solid performance, but I just don't think the majority of the English players play in the Premiership. And the Premiership, while I do think it's possibly the most entertaining rugby league on at the moment, I don't think it's good enough quality wise.
Yeah, I agree with that
Like
statement.
Bath and Bristol are the highest scoring points scoring teams in the Premiership, and Leinster dominated them. You know.
Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong, they have gone and had some good performance against other teams, but when you're going up against the top of the top, they're getting steamrolled. When they're going up against the French teams are winning a lot of the time. And when you're going up against the best of the rest of Europe, the Premiership just doesn't stand to it. It is what it is. It's a very entertaining league. There's a lot of points scored, but I just think defensively they'll be too weak. I think the Scots will get them. Like the Scots very comfortably put away Australia. Very comfortably did that, whereas England couldn't. Like they just couldn't put them away. They couldn't put anyone away, to be fair, in the autumn, except for Japan. But like Australia, they had Australia beaten twice, and then lost the game. Like they were ahead last couple of minutes, then they let Australia in, then they scored again, and they let Australia in. Don't get me wrong, Australia played great. They had a great bit of a tour up here. Great start to a bit of a disappointing end, I'd say, on their half. They would have liked to have gotten one more win either against the Scots or the Irish, but I just don't think England are defensively going to be good enough. It's simple as that. Like I think they'll be very good offensively. I think Marcus Smith, it'll probably be Marcus Smith starting as 10. That's what the public are calling for, and I think they'll score. I think they'll score quite well, but I don't see them being able to defend against France, for example. I really don't see them beating France. I don't see them beating England. I don't see them beating Ireland. I don't see them beating Scotland. They'll beat Italy and Wales. I think Wales aren't good enough, and Italy are in Twickenham. They have Ireland away. The Scots are coming down to them, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
But
Scots and
I think
Twickenham.
it's going. Yeah. So that'll be a tough game, all right. So maybe I might take that. They have a chance of beating Scotland, playing in Twickenham, but Calcutta Cup, I think, will remain in Scottish hands. Yeah, that'd be my kind of take on it. So you went for Scotland in fourth. What are you thinking?
Yeah, so I couldn't really decide between England and Scotland in fourth and third. I think England in Twickenham against Scotland, I think that game probably is the decisive one between the two. I think that'll establish who finishes where. I think they'll both win the same games and both lose the same games outside of that. I think they're both beating Wales. I think they're probably both beating Italy. Like Italy and Twickenham was just a bit too much for them. I think. Oh, look at this. I think it probably roots back to my opinion on Finn Russell. I don't really see the hype. I know that's a bit outlandish. I think
A little bit. I think he's going to be the Lions 10, so I definitely see some hype around him.
Okay, yeah. I don't fully see who else would be the Lions 10 right now. Ireland, I can't even pick their own 10. England, again, can't even pick their own 10. Wales, barely even know who their 10 is. I didn't ask him to get dropped from the squad to bring someone new. Pretty sure.
Yeah. They
I think he
dropped
did.
Anscombe.
So, are you bringing Costello? So yeah, I think actually for looking at the Lions team, where it might be a little bit of a unsure who's actually getting selected because who's actually a lot of the team's tens. So Finn Russell, yeah, 100% would be the starting 10. I think like Leinster Bath, what he had his flashy plays at the start, but like he's now, I don't see his ability to lift that Scottish team.
I don't know, when he went off for that HIA in that game, that's when Leinster, I thought, really got a foothold into it.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. But I just think in his in games against South Africa the last while in the autumn, he's just isn't able to elevate that team to the level that you'd expect them to be. I just think sometimes he does stuff that the team doesn't see coming. Sometimes he does absolutely beautiful things, worldly stuff, offloads, unbelievable. Don't get me wrong, I don't deny that. And off the boot, he is an absolute ace. Those things are really important. I don't know what I see. I do think Van der Merwe's on form. Blair Kinghorn, again, having a storm into loose. He's one that I think could be really dangerous for Scotland. The Scottish are just they're 6, 7, and 8. Whoever they choose, they're always gritty. They're always looking for a fight and getting those turnovers. That's huge for them. Hughie Jones, unbelievable player. I think if Tuipulotu was in the squad, I probably would be moving it up to third. So I think that back line then is nearly fully complete. I think that probably
is fair. It's a big loss, and I think Van der Merwe's not fully fit either at the moment.
Yeah, so I think that back line had an argument to be one of the best back lines in the world if everyone was fit.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't argue with that. Yeah, they've lost their captain, and Van der Merwe is, I don't know. I've just heard mumblings that he might not be fully fit, so we'll have to wait and see. Now he probably, since it's not fully fit, he might miss the first game, or maybe the first 2 games. But I don't think he's necessary for the first game. They're playing
Italy.
Yeah, it's Scotland versus Italy. Yeah.
I think against teams like Italy, he'll fundraise luck and create and open up the game. I think against teams like France and Ireland with the defensive structures and stuff, maybe with Ireland with the rush defence, he'll be able to find the gaps, but it's doing that consistently over the game and to make forward ball is where I think.
Well, that's only if Ireland go with the rush defence. That's a real
Sorry, that's
thing.
true. Yeah, that is true. That depends on the selections. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did go for a rush defence, considering most of the backline is Leinsterian.
I don't know how you take that out of Ringrose as well. And if
I think you just let Ringrose do whatever he wants. But anyway, sorry. No. Speaking of, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Back to who we're talking about. You were saying why Scotland are going to do really badly in this.
I don't think really badly. I think it's the same as Italy. I want Italy to do better, but there's only 6 teams. There's only someone has to be 5th and 4th, and up until recent years, I would have rooted for Scotland. I think that there's a bit of an Irish Scottish rivalry taken away in the background there. A few scraps, a few things in the World Cup that like
Fair.
kind of got me. But I'm not trying to take that as trying to influence
No,
my
no, I
decision.
understand. I understand. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I
You
might
just
option.
don't think.
I
So
actually
basically, you're
it's
saying
more
it's going to come
England.
down to, yeah.
It's more England.
You're saying it's going to come down to the England Scotland game to decide fourth and third.
I think this is kind of I'll roll on to my third with England being third, and I think I'll explain this now. I think England. I was debating whether England could come second, and this I think for me this comes off a statement that I heard from I think Squid Rugby there the other day saying that he thinks that this England squad has better potential at the next World Cup than the Ireland squad. And I was like, I was like, how outrageous is that? And I thought about it, and you know what? It depends on how Bortwick can manage this squad and how what his selection is. Like Henry Pollard, like top tackler in the Premiership. Like he's coming on. If he gets some game time, I think like he's a ferocious player. I think Finn Smith is potentially a better 10 than Marcus Smith. I think Marcus Smith should be given the opportunity to have this full Six Nations, but I think Finn Smith coming off the bench rather than George Ford is where England can look. I think I think if they play more expressive attacking style like they did against Ireland in the last Six Nations, it, I think they could be a team that could be quite hard to beat, especially at home. Um, they had a really bad season last year, and I probably am not taking that into account as much as I should. But I think I see potential in their players. But kind of circling back to what you said about England and the Premiership, the Premiership is not in a great state in terms of its system, its revenue and that kind of stuff. I think maybe they need to look at a promotion relegation like the top 14 in France and having that feeding because Newcastle, what are they providing, you know? Um, but then again, Northampton are what eighth in the Premiership, and they're the only England or they're one of the only England teams. So no, they're not the only team. The Harlequins are true as well. And a few
Harlequins are
others.
through as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're Leinster's
I
first
think
game.
I think Leicester are true as well. I don't know why I'm saying they're the only ones true, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah, I get you.
the
They've got a
table's not
few games
reflecting.
through, but they've got a few. They've definitely got a few teams through, but like they're all. No one's predicted them to get any further.
Now,
Like the Leinster Harlequins
Northampton, I
game.
think,
Yeah, so basically, I'm going for Scotland in third. I think they'll beat England, they'll beat Italy, they'll beat Wales, they'll lose to France and Ireland. Although Ireland in Murrayfield, so could beat them. I wouldn't put
when's
it out of
that?
the realms of
That's
possibility.
that's the middle of the
Scotland
championship,
is
is it?
round three. Yeah, Ireland Scotland's round three, or is it round
Oh
two?
no, it's round two.
Because we're playing England, then
It is round two.
was it England, Scotland, Wales, France, Italy, I think is the order. So yeah, we'll be playing them round two. I reckon if we beat England at home, we'd be flying high, a lot of confidence going to Murrayfield. I think we'll beat them. We've a good track record against them. I couldn't tell you what it is, but I don't remember losing to a Scottish team in a very long time. So I just don't see it happening.
2015, I think, off the top of my head. I think that's wrong, but we would need to fact.
I don't.
Put, put,
We'll fact check
put,
it.
put the
We'll
fact
flash
checking
it
up
on the
here is
screen.
telling me I was wrong.
Yeah. We'll put it up on the screen. But anyway,
Yeah.
I don't remember losing to them in a long time. Even last year, I know we only beat them by like 5 or 6 points, but I think that was just everything was a bit deflated. Going into that game, I think was that the game where we did all the injuries happened and Van der Fleer was thrown into the line out. I can't remember if that was the year before, but
Or was that the year Doris nearly scored at the start? I think that might have been the year before.
yeah, it might
Yeah.
have been the year before. But anyway,
But
I
I think it
I
was
just don't
after
see Ireland losing to them.
it was after the England loss. You know, I think we were just we were nearly so
Yeah,
confident
just
that we had the
everything's a bit
Grand Slam with 2
deflated.
games left that I think we just were like, oh
Yeah,
cool, we'll
yeah, but
just.
there you go. That whole Twickenham thing. It's hard to win in Twickenham.
It is.
Like we've shown it. Like the Irish have shown it. They lost in Twickenham when they're tops of their power. Like the win against France at the start of last year's Six Nations was something completely different. Like fair enough World Cup hangover, but that was an annihilation that I just didn't think Ireland would have in them. Now they did taper off towards the end of the championship, losing to England, barely beating Scotland. But yeah,
do,
I don't see England or Scotland beating France or Ireland. So I think it comes down to the Calcutta Cup match, and I think Scotland will win it. I think Scotland will have lost to Ireland, and then they'll have to go play England, and they'll want it more.
I think what'll be really interesting is after the first two rounds, if we come back and do our predictions for the remaining of the season, how we're going to be shaping up to this
Yeah,
too.
stick and twist.
Are we going to stick to the same? Is Borthwick choosing a good team? Like it's going to be interesting
Yeah,
to see. I
it'll be
think.
interesting anyway to see what happens after the second week. There's that break. There's the break week either side of the third
Yeah,
game, so
yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what state everyone's in. I'd expect Ireland to be 2 from 2. Um,
That's a tough two
France will
from
be
two.
2 from 2.
It,
Yeah, but I
it's not the
reckon we do
easiest.
that. Yeah, I think we can do it. England at home, Scotland away. I reckon Ireland can do it, and then Wales in the middle should hopefully just be kind of like an easy enough game. I know we are playing them in the Principality, but I think they'll win, and then it'll be that big fourth game that I think decides everything. So anyway, I suppose that brings us on to
Leads you
second
on to
and
go on,
first.
dive into it. What do you think at number
I'm
two?
Ireland.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah. It's hard to say.
It is.
I
It is.
think I think France, the top 14 is the most competitive league. Next to maybe the Premier, not the Premiership, the Championship. I think the Toulouse, Bordeaux, and La Rochelle are all performing really well in every competition they're in. I think Dupont and Intimac being back together as a lovely family reunion are going to be very, very difficult to beat. Yeah, I think that fourth round Ireland France game, if Ireland are 3 from 3 and France will be 3 from 3, I do think it could go either way. We are at home. Ireland
It
are at
is in the
home,
Viva,
so
yeah.
I'd nearly be leaning towards Ireland, but I can't imagine Dupont losing a game.
I,
Like,
I
that's the
think
difficult thing.
there's a few things that I'd lean into this. So, Toulon topped their group, Bordeaux topped their group over Toulouse. So, and like Bordeaux, Toulouse, Toulon, they're the top three teams. Like, you look at the Bordeaux backline, they've got so many of the French backs. But you look at the Toulouse backline, they've also got so many of the French backs. So, trying to make those decisions, I think that's tough. I think one of the key reasons Leinster are doing so well is Slimani, and he's back in the squad. I think he's gonna be able to help crack the Irish scrum.
I think that's an absolute bullshit, fucking brilliant move by Galtier. I think
Yeah,
it's genius. When was the last time he played for France? Like 5, 8 years ago,
he was
something like
35,
that.
playing with Clermont, about to retire. Leinster hire him, all of a sudden back in the
And
French
suddenly
squad.
he's back in the French team, yeah,
But
giving away trade secrets.
look at him against the Stormers last night. He had their scrum in bits, in
Yeah,
bits.
he's a great scrummager. He's a
Against
phenomenal
against
scrummager. That's what
Bath,
we
he had
call him.
about 5 penalties about German, who got the red card, the double yellow. Like
Yeah, ridiculous red card. But
I
anyway,
think the second yellow was actually fair, maybe in the middle of the pitch, not fair. But Somani had him like in the bin. The ref, I'd heard, I didn't see it, had given him a warning at some point. That might need to be fact checked. We can
no,
talk.
I don't deny that it should have been a yellow card. I think it's just ridiculous that 2 yellows equals a red. I think yellow cards are far too easy to get nowadays. I'm not disagreeing with them being given out.
That's an
I
interesting point.
just
Should
I
should
just
should,
don't think.
should that have been a 20-minute red?
Yeah, I would have been fine with that. I also would have been fine with it just being a 10-minute yellow again. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Or I know this is probably making the game too confusing, but is there like your second yellow it's 15 minutes and your third yellow it's 20 minutes? Because
I don't know, at that point you're just bringing
you're
like different
yeah,
colored cards and stuff. Like, you'd be like an orange card maybe is a
yeah.
20 minute
Well, sure, like
20 minute
that's what we
yellow.
have now.
Like,
We have the 20-minute red, which is essentially an orange, and then we have the full red, which is, I guess, we like it has to be talked about because it's
you were
coming
a
up at the
very
Six Nations.
yeah, you were a very naughty boy. You're actually being kicked off the pitch rather
Yeah,
than the 20-minute red.
you punched someone in the face.
Yeah. Like, you've really messed up this opportunity. But
But
yeah.
yeah,
Anyway, back to Ireland coming second. I don't know. I might change my mind after seeing their first 3 games. seeing how they're performing. I just don't think Ireland finished last year particularly strongly, and because of that, I just they didn't play well against New Zealand, and France beat New Zealand. So I can only go off what's been going on. I also think Farrell being gone actually makes a huge difference. Sorry, I haven't
Yes,
even said that yet.
I agree.
Like, our head coach isn't there. I think if we come second in the Six Nations, missing our head coach, it's not great, but I think we could be pretty happy with it. Yeah, I think it'd be pretty grand. Now, I just need to wait and see what Easterby does with the Irish team, see if he changes anything up. I think the offense might be particularly good, and we might be able to have a very good defensive system, like we stick with the rush defense. I think we could really, really pin back France, and we could beat them. But then you look at like the French 9-10 combo of Dupont and Tamac. Very, very good, very, very talented. And then you look at their wingers, Louis Bière and Pinot. You know, they're scoring tries for fun at the moment. So
Now,
I just can't see them.
Louis
I just can't see.
Bière is
Yeah.
on
Louis Bibi.
Louis BB, yeah, because I can't say his name. He's he's a bit of injury worry about him, whether he's gonna be fit and ready.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that I was
Yeah,
just
but
I was,
he'll be fine by the fourth round. That's
yeah,
the thing.
that's true.
It's now they might get other injuries in the meantime. I don't know, but like in going into the Six Nations, not only do they have Dupont and Ntamak, they have Dupont with an extra 5 meters of space around him at all times because of the new rules.
Yeah,
And Dupont with space is a Dupont that's gonna score, essentially. So yeah, I suppose. You said Ireland second as well. Any other points you want to add as to why
Yeah.
we're being really? Or sometimes I kind of feel like I'm saying it just so I can be surprised happily.
yeah. You
When
prefer
Ireland
to
do
be
win it,
we.
but,
I think Razzie Rasmus might have said it. Like Ireland prefer to be underdogs. They don't. Some of us don't understand what to do when we're the favourites going into
when
the
we're
game.
dominant, no, fair enough.
For the next World Cup cycle, I want us to be outside the top two. Now, I don't really want us to get there in the meantime, but I want us to be outside the top
Yeah.
two in the rankings.
But so who's going to be ahead of us?
I don't
Like South
know.
Africa?
I'm not going
Well,
into.
South Africa.
I don't want to think about that. I don't even want to think about that.
Alright, fair
I just want
enough,
Ireland to
fair
be
enough.
underdogs. You know?
Yeah,
If we could
you
be
just want
number
to
one,
watch Ireland lose, you're a traitor to the country.
if we could be number one and underdogs at the same time, that'd be the best. But I think on why I think we should be number two. Yeah, no Farrell. I think that's going to either swing two ways. I think maybe were we a bit too comfortable under Farrell, maybe Easterby will bring something different. That could be good.
Possibly.
But I think Farrell does have a great grasp with this team. I think it was a very rocky autumn series. I think
Yes.
the likes of Crowley, that was a tough hit for him to take. Prendergast got a lot of maybe inflation, and then Kieran Frawley just dropped off the face of the earth. Had one of his best summer probably in his life with those two drop goals.
Yeah.
And he's
And then just
Ross Byrne starting over him. Like
yeah.
it's I think that 10 decision is tough. I think Crawley should be the man still having the shirt. I think Andy Farrell selected Prendergast to allow Easterby to play him in the Six Nations, but I think a game like Scotland, a game like Italy, you don't want your 10 having to go to their wing just in case they get blown by in a tackle, which is what Leinster have to do with Prendergast. Crowley's in there, he's stuck in, he had a really good game against Sarries, he had a really good game against Northampton.
True.
I think I think that's just that there might be a little bit of indecisiveness on that. I think one thing that kind of might have changed my opinion on this list from last night in the Leinster game was Dan Sheehan being back. Like,
2 tries,
62
man of the match.
minutes.
Yeah.
Lowe is hit
Yeah.
inside, passes it to him. And
Yeah,
Lowe was like,
yeah,
you can
yeah.
see in Lowe's face, Lowe's sprinting hard, and Dan Sheehan just goes on, puts the afterburners and just burns their wingers and just goes in for the try.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden
is
he's there for a
world-class, to be
crossfield
fair,
kick.
yeah,
He was
yeah,
there for a
yeah.
crossfield kick. You watched the replay, he was offside, pulled himself back and then ran
Back and
got
then
it.
still got it. Yeah,
Like-
yeah. No, that's fair. It's a good point. Dang Sheehan is back. We haven't seen Ireland Dang Sheehan since South Africa. Did he?
Was South Africa?
Was it down?
Yeah, so
it was South Africa where he got injured. Yeah, so
I
I mean,
think-
fair play to him getting back so quickly.
Oh,
like
I
a
think-
cruciate injury is
that's unbelievable.
usually a lot longer than 6 months.
It's great to see though as well that someone like this has that ability to recover fast because he is young. I think Ronan Kelleher coming on as a sub, I don't think it'll happen the first round. I think, but when Ronan Kelleher comes on as a sub, he's so impactful and he makes key turnovers. I actually think it really suits
I
Ireland.
think he's more of an impact sub.
Yeah, I think Gus McCarthy there as well allows them to have the breaks. Like I know Rob Herring as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
They've went
yeah,
with
yeah,
four
yeah. Gus
hookers.
McCarthy, yeah.
I
But
do
like,
think
where like nowadays though, where's your break? Wales, maybe. Like, is that where you put in your? Because like, I don't think you can take Italy for granted anymore, especially if it's for a Grand Slam or if we need to win this game by 50 points. You know.
true. I yeah. I'll finish off my other reasons why I think Leinster's second. Ulster, just where are they? Where are they this year? I know we have like McCluskey's the first time in a while he hasn't even made the selection squad. Um, like Connacht are on par with Munster and the number of players they have in the squad. Connacht are they're touch and go. They're like Italy. Like some days you're like, oh yeah, go on, and then they're not there.
Yeah, well,
Munster,
they're topped the Challenge Cup. They've home matches the whole way through.
they're playing really well through that, but then in the
The
URC,
URC isn't great. No,
yeah.
I'll give you
So
that. Yeah, but I think they're
um,
more focused on the Challenge Cup.
I think that's a good decision. I think trying to win the Challenge Cup for them would be a great a great
Yeah.
achievement. I think Munster as well. Like where are they? You know, um, they're a bit all over the place. I think people are talking about Gavin Coombs not being in the Ireland squad. Absolute unit. Tom Ahern.
Yeah.
But then,
Yeah, yeah.
are they really better than Van der Fleer and Caelan Dars? I know some people
No,
saying, are they
they are
better
not.
than Ryan Baird? I don't. You'd have to talk about that one. But then, obviously, Jack Conan. you know, like
Yeah.
I don't think Jack Conan. I don't think Ryan Baird's getting in ahead of Jack Conan. Um,
It depends how the lineout's going. Like they need Baird in there if the lineout's failing. If not, we can
but
go with Conan.
we still have that option of Byrne at six as well. So I think I feel for
I just
Coombs.
think
I
he's
feel for
too much of
Hartnett.
a second row
He is. He is.
now. Like playing
I think he
six
is.
is getting a bit tough for him.
I do think it's tough for Hodnett. It's tough for Coombs. It's tough for Tom Ahern. I think our despite Leinster winning 14 from 14 this season, it's been rocky at times. You know, I think they're learning how to win and close out games, which is good. Um, but I don't necessarily know. At the start, I feel a little bit more relaxed after Christmas. Before Christmas, I was very worried with this Leinster team. I thought they were on the decline. I think Snyman and Barrett has lifted them massively. Salmani in the scrums, so I don't actually know if this is the Ireland players that are carrying through. Now, obviously, I know Henshaw and Ringrose are on absolute form. Um, I think your wingers, who are you, I know it's probably we're going more into depth. Or maybe we close out the list first before I go into depth of who we should be choosing. But essentially, I think the Ireland provinces aren't as good as they might have been last year or the year before as a whole. Um, and I think we did have a rocky autumn, and I think our defensive system, depending on what we choose, could be a bit disjointed.
Could be, but I suppose they'll just have to see if they're going to go with more like a Leinster style rush or a more in general Ireland style kind of press and spread.
Yeah,
So like bit of a rush and then just spread out. I know it depends. It just kind of depends. I think they might even do it situationally. They might work off both systems.
yeah.
If like they really need to press, they might press. They need to yeah, just push and spread out, then they might just do that. Like, I think they'll just play it a bit by ear. I
And
think they'll just go to Ringrose and be like, Ringrose, you do what you want. You always rush out of line. You always make those hits, and then the rest of us will push and press, or we'll all run up with you.
just to
I think
throw
Ringrose will
a crazy
just
one in
throw
there
a
with
body in there,
Ringrose.
yeah.
Just to
Yeah,
throw
well,
one
like,
in with
that's...
Ringrose. Like,
Also, he can just bury people.
could he?
Like, that's all he needs to do.
Could they go normal Irish defense but rush with Ringrose and Ringrose is on the wing? I don't know if that's bad for the system, but like if you look at the Larshell game when he was on the wing, I think this was so evident. He absolutely creamed Hastoy, and Hastoy had about five influential kicks at the end of that game. He had three at goal. He missed a sitter, missed one on the wing, and he hit one. And then he had two crossfield kicks that he punted straight out. And pretty much they were his five main kicks after he got just obliterated. And like that changed that game. I firmly believe that tackle won Leinster the game.
Fair enough. I won't argue with you. It was a great hit, and it wasn't the only big tackle he made either.
Oh
And
no, not
thankfully,
at all, not at all.
he also seems to be quite resilient himself. You know what I mean?
Oh
Because
yeah,
like big hits, you can come off the bad side of them, even if you're the attacking person, you know.
No, 100
But
percent.
no, it seems to be very much a case of he's tough and he'll go through the tackles. And yeah, I just don't know. It depends where you play him. Like if you play him in centre, who do you leave out? And then if you play him on the wing, again, who do you leave out? But anyway, I suppose we've talked enough about Ireland now. On to tournament winners.
On to the tournament winners. Will it be a Grand Slam?
France. No.
No.
No,
Oh,
no, I don't know. I don't know. Like,
I think they're not winning the Six Nations without a Grand Slam, but I think they're going to win a Grand Slam.
interesting. I don't know. I can see it going a couple different ways. Like, I can see them. Are they playing England home or away?
That's a good question. Let me just, and I think it's Scotland as well. They're playing England away. They're playing Ireland away.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. I don't see them winning all the games.
See, they're playing Scotland in Stade de France, the very last match. So if they are up for a Grand Slam at that game, Scotland don't have a chance.
I don't know. The Scots are tough.
In
Like they
Paris,
could,
the
but
last
like
game,
Scotland could be going for a Grand Slam. You never know at that point, or they could be going for the championship. I don't know. I can see because like I can see Ireland losing to France, but I can see Ireland destroying England. But I can see England beating France. I can see Scotland maybe causing an upset. You know, I think they'll win the championship, but they'll lose a game. I think the only people that are, I think, going to get a Grand Slam would be Ireland. Just the way the fixtures are, I think it suits them
Okay.
very well. Biggest games at home, but if we're not getting a Grand Slam, I think it'll come down to points difference, and I think France will score more points than Ireland. That's why I'm putting them first, but I don't think it's going to be a Grand Slam.
I think with DuPont and Mac, Peno, Ramos, like the only way you're beating them is outscoring them. And I think based off Scotland last against South Africa in the autumn series, they just couldn't even score. Same in the World Cup. Scotland have an inability sometimes to score. I think the French last Six Nations aren't the same French team that will be in the Six Nations. I think they're going to be two completely different sides. I think this French team has gotten over that World Cup hangover, gotten over the loss, and now just firing on all cylinders. I think I'm hoping I'm not wrong, but I think these guys are going to absolutely be an absolute beast to play against. I think they're gonna like if you think about it, Toulouse beat Bordeaux something like 60 odd points to single digits in the top 14 final last year, and and Bordeaux are back even stronger. They're top of the table, and like so many of their like Jalibert and Luca are their 9 and 10. So the substitute 9 and 10s that could be starting for that could be coming on for France still
Is
play.
Jalibert in the squad?
Yeah, Jalibert's in the squad.
I thought he left the French team. No, he left them
I
in
thought
the Autumn Nations. That's why what was it? Ramos was playing 10 because I think himself and Galtier had a falling out.
no Jalibert is, yeah, he's in the squad. It's
I must be wrong. I must be
now
mistaken. I'm just spreading rumors.
like Eric could be ahead of Luku in the selection, but like Luku
It
and
doesn't matter.
Jalibert.
Dupont's playing 80 minutes
So if you
if
think
and like
if you think about it, Dupont and Roman Entamac play together at club level. And if you
yeah
wanted to swap out your entire 9-10, you bring on Luku and Jalibert, who play together at club level. Both of the
they
wingers
definitely know
play
each
with
other.
them. Mofana plays with them as well. Deportier plays with them as well. Like, it's. I'm looking. Ramos then plays with the other guys. Like, you're essentially swapping two of the best teams in Europe back and forth with their backline. So the game time they have together is, I see them scoring tries, and it'll probably come down to the pack and whether they can bash their way through against the Scots, the English and the Irish to secure those wins. But I think it's going to be it's a tall ask for all the other teams, in my opinion.
Yeah, okay, interesting. I wonder if you will be saying the same thing after seeing the first couple of games coming up. Like I can see where you're coming from, but I don't know. I don't know if they can beat England and Twickenham and Ireland at the Aviva. Like it's a lot to ask of a team. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot to ask of a team.
On back-to-back weeks as well. They do have the 2 week break between that, but yeah, it is. And I do understand that the French sometimes can Can lose.
I think that's a thing of the past now. Like, I think the French team is going to show up is going to be the very good French team.
But they didn't show up last Six Nations though.
Yeah, but that's the whole World Cup hangover. They didn't have Dupont. Entamac wasn't there either. I think wasn't he injured for the last Six
Yeah,
Nations as well.
I think he was half
So
back, but he wasn't. It wasn't
yeah,
fully.
like yeah, I don't know. And then they got that hiding from Ireland, and then they just said,
The
say la vie.
the ball falling over saved them embarrassment as well.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. So, look, I don't necessarily see it as a Grand Slam year, but I do see it as a France winning the competition year. No, I don't even know that. I think between Ireland and France, it could be so close. I think everything we've said is going to be completely wiped off the table as soon as we see the first weekend.
Yeah, yeah. I do.
Or the first two weekends, probably. Yeah,
it's
I
a
don't know.
brave thing to
It'll
put
be
your opinion out
interesting.
there like this, and like I don't know. I feel like you're putting a
Yeah.
load of hens in a basket on a video. You know.
You'd be grand, be grand. All right, look, I suppose we'll call it there. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, leave your predictions down in the comments below, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Cheers,
Bye.
guys.